a mystery to me.
All right, we're going live. Keep talking.
So you're,
all right, sounds good.
You're the man of the hour.
No, you are the man of the hour, sir.
Well, maybe so. But
Well,
without you, this couldn't happen.
Well, without you, we wouldn't be here, living free, having opportunity, having a platform to do this. So, sir, it's an honor to see you finally. I know back in September for the end of World War II commemoration that was going to be in Hawaii, we had you all lined up, ready to go, along with 19 of your other brothers. And unfortunately, because of COVID, we had to cancel. So this is, this is our next best thing, is to do the Zoom call and in person, and hopefully we'll get you back out soon enough. Well,
let's hope that Hawaii opens up. It should. They're having flights from Tampa, Florida, nonstop to Hawaii now.
Wow.
Yeah, but I think you might have to quarantine for 2 weeks still, right?
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah. So speaking of COVID,
I'm not
sorry?
not in any hurry. Yeah, we're all set. We've had both shots. I'm I'm non-infectious.
Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. But I'm sure you're probably chomping at the bit to get back out living your life again, like so many of us. It's been a very difficult time. I'm sure very difficult, very difficult for you guys as well, kind of being locked in your house, being prisoner. But I'm really happy to hear that you got the COVID vaccine.
Yeah. And, our life, as the age limit here, or age of retirement, your life doesn't change too much unless you are a very active person. Now, a few years ago, we used to travel back and forth from Florida to Michigan. And so we did a lot of traveling during that time and very active. So if we had been quarantined or the COVID had come along at that time, it would have created more problems than it does today. But it's okay.
Well, that's good. And you're in Florida, and I know your state is open, right? You guys are able to go about and everything, and now that you have the vaccine, you can kind of start a little bit getting back to normal life, I'm sure.
True.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Well, it's an honor to have you here, Austin, all the way from Idaho. I'm in California, and you're in Florida. This is going to be really special because we're going to connect with so many people around the world, and to talk about your life, talk about your history and what you did for our country back in World War II. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to ask you questions regarding your time in Okinawa. I'm kind of excited to hear your story about the Battle of Sugarloaf. But I'll leave those questions for some of our people that are going to be coming on.
I know I got I always want to ask questions myself, and I'm like,
right.
I'll leave it for someone else.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting, Ken, because everybody talks about April 1st, April Fool's Day. Yeah. I'm sure back in 1945, April 1st was no April Fool's Day for you in Okinawa.
That is correct.
It was not an April Fool's for sure, but we're excited to hear the stories. Austin, do you want to start bringing guys on?
Yeah, we got a bunch of people already in the waiting list. So
all right, well, let's do it. I want to make sure we get as many people as we can today, because I'm sure everybody's chomping at the bit to ask you some questions about your service.
So let's see. We're going to start with. We're just going to go in order. We're going to start with Connor, then we're going to go with Paolo, and then Peyton. So we'll wait 20 seconds because there's a delay so they can hear themselves. But Kenneth, the way this is going to work is we're going to have people join in one at a time. And they can ask you a question. And there's going to be people from all over the world. We don't know what they're going to ask or anything. So it's just kind of a fun mystery, and we'll see what happens.
Very good.
Bring in
All-
Connor right now.
Already.
Yep, and this is our friend Connor from Louisiana.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you doing, Mr. Wells?
Well, I'm doing great this morning. I can't complain.
Well, first of all, it's an honor to meet you and thank you for your service, quite frankly, because some people don't realize what y'all fought for, and some people do realize what y'all fought for, and that is freedom. So thank you for giving us an opportunity to have freedom of speech and freedom of rights.
That's good. That is true. We've worked hard for that.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. So my questions go from your time when you were little and then to the service. So I'm going to start with, would you like to tell me what were the names of your parents and did you have any brothers and sisters?
What was that question again? What?
What were your parents' names, and did you have any brothers or sisters?
Oh, all right. Well, I'll start with I was born in a little town in Ohio, a farming community, and my father was his first name was Carl, and our lives went very fast in that respect because I was about 5 years old when he passed away, and he basically died of something that could be cured with probably a shot of penicillin today. He died of pneumonia.
Huh.
And my mother, her name was Alda, and we had in our family, I had an older brother and an older sister. And typical farm life, doing all the things you do to have crops in the ground and watch them grow and all that. Now, is there any other questions you want me to go from there on?
Oh yeah. I was wondering, how long did your parents live to be?
How long what?
Parents lived to be. We know your father died when you were 5. How old was he?
He was 43 years of age.
And how
Oh
long?
my.
Young.
Yeah,
Young.
he was a young man. And a few days after he passed away, his father, who lived with us at that time, he passed away also. And, I think that sometimes you just die of a broken heart because his only son, left him so quickly. And so he probably just felt like giving up life at that time alone. But then after that, of course, father and grandfather both dying, why my older brother was about 15 at that time. And he actually became the head of the household, even at a young age of 15.
Wow.
And of course, he grew up to be a man real quick, but he continued to finish high school and up to that time, kept the farm going with a hired hand. And life just went on, as a very innocent life, shall we say.
Yeah. Well, 43 years old is not that old. That's not even 50 years old. Yeah, my dad's 50 right now. So let's go to the service. How old were you when you joined the United States Marine Corps?
18.
18.
I just graduated from high school. At this particular time, we were able to have a farm deferment. And so many of the students in high school were taken from the high school in the draft at that time. And I was lucky that I got a deferment until actually I graduated from high school. Then immediately from high school, I was inducted and went into the Marine Corps then.
What were some of the tough experiences when you faced in the Sugarloaf Hill battle in Okinawa?
Well, you've jumped a long ways from induction induction into the
You
Marine
jumped
Corps.
Parris Island and everything else, huh?
Yeah.
right to the
You
meat.
might go back and ask me some questions about how I got into Marines and all that stuff.
I like that. Tell us how you got in there.
Yeah.
How you got into the Marine Corps, and why'd you pick the Marine Corps over the Navy?
Well, here's the story. I was supposed to go to the Navy, and going from the induction center in Toledo, Ohio, we were sworn in, and assuming that I was going to go into the Navy. And it just happened that there was another acquaintance or friend who was the same age as I, and we used to play basketball together and baseball and basketball together, only he was a different school. And he was up there with the group. And after we were indoctrinated, shall we say, sworn in, by this big old Marine sergeant stands up and he said, I need 2 volunteers, you and you. That's how I got in the Marines.
Just like that. He pointed to you.
Just like that. You had no choice, you just followed him along. And so
who are you with? Were you with a friend or were you with your brother? I mean, who are you with when he pointed?
This a high school acquaintance of a different high school. And I knew him because we played basketball and baseball together or against each other. And his name was Earhart, his last name, Earhart. And there will be a story concerning that will take place. But anyway, we went into the Marines together, went to Parris Island, and took the normal course there of indoctrinating you from, shall we say, a little innocent farm boy to a man real quick, type of thing. And how much further do you want me to go along that line?
What was it?
You go forever.
Well,
okay, let's just things that pop up in my mind and we go back. But all right, so this Earhart and I, we were in the same platoon in Parris Island that took the normal training. And after our training was finished and we graduated and had a week furlough, and then came back and took more advanced training at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. And during that time, we were still associated together. And because of the alphabetical and height, now Earhart, the big guy, he was looking over 6'2". And
wow.
Here I am 5'6". So I'm in the back of the line, he's up in front always, and Earhart being E, why I'm W, so I'm always in the back. So that's where we always were all the time in our training. But then the day came when we were to be shipped out, and we all knew that in the morning we'd have everything all set and we would leave and go to the parade ground and then get on a train and head out towards the West Coast. And but about 4 o'clock in the morning, this corporal comes along and he says, "Hey, you come outside with all your gear and everything. We're going to classify you as a supernumer." And we will
What?
a supernumer. And
That.
I didn't know what a supernumer was, you know. And so he had 12 of us all together and sat us down at the parade ground around. At that time, it wasn't grown up like it is today, you know, but there was a big old tree there, and he sat us down by that tree and he said, "Now you stay there until we call you, and we'll call you when we need you." So apparently, if one outfit was lacking one man or something, he'd pull us out, one of us. So everything was going well, and there was 3 of us left there. And the next thing we know is we hear the whistle of the train, and it took off. And we went back to headquarters and told them our story, that we had been left behind. Well, they said, "That's impossible. The Marine Corps never makes mistakes." Well, that's one they did, you know. So they recycled us in a new group coming from Parris Island again. And that's where this Richard Whitaker will come into play. That his group came in, and we all together then recycled and learned and retrained. Now, the reason I'm telling this story is because this Earhart, he went on with this train group to the West Coast, and I'm retrained again, you know. And because of the difference in time, he went to Iwo Jima, and immediately, as soon as he hit the beach, why, he received a bullet right in the forehead, and that was it. And then, because of my delay in training, I went to Okinawa. And I know I wouldn't be here today if it hadn't been for that incident. So, but then this Whitaker, he'll come into play later, maybe in the conversation, but he was the instigator, shall we say, of getting Fox Company that I belong to, F229, and he organized the Fox Company within the 6th Marine Division, so prominent. And when we have reunions, why, we'd have a little separate time for all the people from Fox Company, you know. And so there's very few of us left now. The age limit taking us down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
What were some of the commanders that you had the most respect when you were in the service?
Did you hear the
What's
question?
that?
What commanders did you have the most respect for in the service?
Well, you know, it starts out with having a DI, a drill instructor on Parris Island when you're first in, shall we say, taking you from a little farm boy without too much knowledge of the world. And at that time, you know, I never had taken a train ride. Never flew, of course, at that time, but never took a train ride, and probably never went over 40 miles away from the farm, you know. And so now here's this DI going to change this little boy into a man or a fighting machine, you know. So I had great respect for him. even though he was ornery as a Dickens, but that's the way it goes, you know.
For sure. For sure.
Oh, he would. I mean, he would take, if your parents sent you a box of candy or something, you know, why he would intercept that and he would spread that all over the whole barracks. Everybody got it. It wasn't in your private thing. It was the whole group, you know. He was beginning to teach you how to trust each person and each individual as a unit that you would never give up on. So, but of course, later on, as we got into the campaign of Okinawa, by this Captain Robert Shear, probably the company commander there, he was a very, very kind individual, you know, and very smart. And he led Fox Company through hell and high water, you know, and he never got wounded, but he lost hundreds of men, you know. We went from one hill to another, you know. And so I would say that the respect from him, and also General Shepard and all the commanding officers, the ones that I can't really point out, but the ones in the Navy that were in charge of all this campaign, this large campaign. It was the largest campaign on Okinawa, and how it was put together was just amazing. And to think of having Iwo Jima, which I'm sure you're aware of, how large of an operation that was in February, you know, and then turn right around and have another big campaign in April. Logistics, somebody had to have some brains, you know, so you have to say some of the people that were involved with all that situation, it's just outstanding.
For sure. Do you have
Wow.
show me a picture of you in training earlier? Can you hold that up?
Let's see here. Well, this was when I
closer to the camera and move it over a little bit. Other way. A little bit more. There we go.
Okay, well, that's me when I came home from boot camp for a week's furlough.
Nice.
And that was my pet dog that we used to take hunting all the time. And then counting back for seeing this. Can you see this?
Bring it down
Yes.
a little bit. A little bit more. There you go.
All right, see where my finger is here.
Oh, nice.
All right, well, I'm kneeling down there now. That is a group that we were all in tent together on Guadalcanal. And from that group, there was only 2 of us that actually survived Okinawa of that group.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow. 2 out of how many?
Of the 6 guys in that photo.
Of the
I
6
know.
guys?
Yeah.
Well, all right, there's 6 of us right there. And one Whitaker took the picture here, and there were 7. So there were about 7 of us in that tent together.
Wow.
Jeez
Wow.
Louise.
Wow. that just goes to show you, you know, how crazy that battle was, and the importance of it, you know, to take that.
Yeah, for sure.
It was horrible. It was
Oh
a
my
horrible
God.
battle.
Well,
It
Connor,
really was.
yeah.
You know,
I have one more question.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Say something. Go ahead, Ken.
My last question is, were you under Buckner, General Buckner, who was the commander of the 10th Army? And did you have the respect for him as well?
well, he's in the Army, of course.
Yeah.
And you know, Marines always think they're the greatest, you know, of course. And so naturally, we never thought that the Army was the greatest thing, although they suffered immensely on that island. And a lot of people don't realize that. I think it's some of the higher up officials, you know, didn't make decisions quite as good as they should have under circumstances. But nevertheless, each man in the Army that set foot on Okinawa, you know, they fell into a hurricane of problems almost immediately there. And they actually got hit, shall we say, by the force of the Japanese earlier than what the Marines did. So whatever the general did at that time, possibly he could have been a more of the mentality of a Marine general and advance maybe a little bit harder at certain times, you know. And I think that he was criticized a little bit for that. But that's I don't want to talk too as if I was intelligent about that at all, because there's a lot of ramifications to war that you never think of, you know.
Mhm.
And just, you know, you just think of all the logistics that it takes to put one man on the front line against the enemy, that
Yeah.
all the support back there that he has to have, you know, that he has to be fed, and you have to have water, you have to have ammunition and weapons and all that. And to keep that rolling in is just amazing thing.
Sure.
Can't even imagine.
Well,
Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts for sure. Connor, thank you so much for always, you know, come on and asking great questions to the veterans. I mean, I'm sure your generation. I mean, Ken, you got to look at Connor. Connor, you're 16, right?
Correct.
Correct. He's 16 years old. Just think, in 2 years, you'd have been at 18 years old going across the Pacific. And I mean, just when you put him into that perspective, it's pretty amazing how young you guys were.
That's true. And you know, you grow up real quick.
Oh yeah.
Exercises like that, you do. And sometimes after it's all over with, you almost revert back to the regular age that you are. You know, it's the strangest feeling psychologically, I guess, because you take such heavy responsibility at a certain time in your life, and it just makes you a man. You make decisions that you wouldn't normally ever make otherwise. And then after you get back, after the service is over with, you sort of smooth back into that 18-year-old kid again.
Mhm. Wow.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Cool. Connor, good to see you. Want to say goodbye real quick?
Okay. Hey, all
It was
right.
nice.
We
It was,
appreciate that questions and appreciate that you have the knowledge that you do have to ask those questions. That is great. Yeah.
well, it was a nice privilege for
Well,
you to share those kinds of stories. We need those. Always need good news. And
Absolutely.
unfortunately, history tends to repeat itself. And I'm very disappointed that some people don't even take that seriously.
that you're very true. You're very true.
Well said.
Very
Well
right.
said.
Welcome to your life that continues on, and you have great things happen to you.
Right on. All right. See you,
Oh.
Connor.
If
You too.
All right.
Connor, thanks.
All right. Now, Mr. Wells, we got a little treat.
okay.
We're going to bring in your buddy.
And it's not
Oh,
this.
Oh, boy.
Hey, Neil. I was connecting the audio. Give it a second.
all right. Good to see you. Good to hear you.
So, right, this is Neil McCallum. I'm sure many of you talked to him last time we did a Zoom with him.
Right.
And these guys are buddies. Neil, can you
Well,
hear us?
we're good at swapping stories. You know, we win the war every time we get together.
Yeah, for sure. Neil, you there?
Where'd he go?
We can't see you. We can't see you.
There
There
he
you are.
All right, I'm back again. Yeah.
Can you hear us,
I-
Neil?
Huh?
I don't think
I-
Neil can hear us.
I nod my head over here for maybe a sip of coffee or something like that, you know, so I get out of sight. No. Neil, how you doing?
I don't think he can hear us.
I don't. Can you hear me, Neil?
This is like a viral video right now. People
Yeah, well,
technology.
he he was going to ask me a couple of questions. He said earlier.
Yeah.
He-
We can't
Oh,
hear.
we can't hear you. You got to turn the audio on if you can hear us.
Okay, you can hear him, but I can't. That's
No, we
it.
can't hear him at all.
Hear him at all.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, that's the same trouble that Austin and I had last night there till we got it straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went through quite a process trying to get his audio connected.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, bummer.
Well, unfortunately, we can't hear Neil. We'll try again later.
Well, we did for a second there, didn't we?
No, we haven't heard him yet.
Oh,
No, we haven't heard him.
okay.
All right, well, I guess we'll have to try that again later.
All right.
Bummer. Okay, let's bring Paolo.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
Well,
I love the technology.
Yeah, it's all new technology. I mean, think about it. I mean,
I know.
oh, hey, you know, I'm one of those old guys, you know, but I remember years ago asking my mother, you know, the greatest changes she's seen in her life, you know, and she just almost hesitated because she said there has been so many changes in her life that she couldn't explain it hardly, you know.
Yeah.
No.
For sure. Well, Paolo, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can. We're
oh, yeah.
live.
Yeah,
All
we're
right.
on.
Tell them
I
how
see.
you're from.
Good.
Hello, Mr. Wells. Nice to meet you.
Hello
It's
there.
an honor to meet you.
Well,
I'm
my
very happy.
pleasure.
I'm
My
very happy
pleasure.
to have. I'm very happy to have the opportunity to talk to you. It means a lot. Thank you. Thanks so much for your service.
Hey,
So,
what is your first name?
my name is Paulo. I am from Brazil, and I am 18 years old.
Well, very good. Good looking young man.
Thanks. Thanks. I have some questions here that I would like to ask you. I
Okay.
have them here. So
Shoot.
my first question is, when you landed on Okinawa, you didn't find any resistance. So were you scared of that? Did you have the feeling of being walking towards a big trap?
Now, when we finally, woke up in the morning, shall we say, on the ship there, and your last meal before you go ashore, I wasn't the first person to step on Okinawa. It was more of about a 3 or 4 hour difference, between. And so finally, after 4 hours of going on Okinawa, they had given us an indication that the first wave, the second wave, met no resistance whatsoever. And so that gave us an assurance that we were not going to at least run into a line of fire almost immediately. And as far as the civilians, I myself had no thought of civilians because I was thinking wholly that we were going to be meeting the Japanese soldier. And so it took probably 2 or 3 days to wake up to the fact that there were loads and loads of civilians on this island, that had been there for years. And we saw them in almost immediately in the detention areas that they were housed, and because they were, shall we say, running like scared people when the bombs and the shells and all started coming in. So then you begin to realize there are people involved here in the war. And continuing on that line, it was unfortunate, but war does that. And many civilians, suffered complete catastrophes, split families and deaths and everything else. So other than that, did I answer your question at all to help you?
Yes, you answered my question, sir. And Mr. Wells, did you have any kind of contact with the Okinawans? How was the relation between the Americans and the Okinawans?
I had no contact with a civilian. The two stories I tell. First story is that on Okinawa, there was another comrade of mine that we had to go back and get grenades. And they come in large boxes, wooden boxes, and they're fairly heavy, I can't recall how many is in each box, but we had to get 3 boxes. And so we each carried one on one shoulder, and then together they had these rope straps on the box to hold on to. And so together you carried one between you. And as we were walking down this path back towards our company, all at once we see this Okinawan in an Oriental costume or ceremonial costume with a big top hat on. And we were so shocked at seeing him come towards us that we just froze almost immediately. And he did not look at us. He went straight by us, just as proud as can be, And I looked at this guy and I said, "Did you see what I see? Can you believe this?" And we couldn't believe it. But then we immediately dropped the boxes of grenades and hid behind this stone fence, thinking that maybe a grenade would come back at us, but it didn't. He continued on, and years later, another Marine from North Carolina told the same story as I did. And so, and he said eventually, on down the line, why he was killed by some other Marines that were a little gun shy or gun happy at that time. So
Wow.
that was the only contact I ever had with any Okinawans, shall we say, directly.
All right. Oh, so let me ask you my other question. Let's
Okay.
go. Could you talk about the moment you got wounded, and after that, when you were taking a shower and you found out that you had shrapnel on your body? What kind of experience was that? Crazy.
Well,
What's that?
I tell you, being wounded with a mortar round, knocked out. It was like a prize fighter being knocked out, but you're out and they assume you're dead. And so they leave you because they got other things to do, fighting the war. All right, so they leave you. And so finally you wake up after a while and you are in a daze. You don't know exactly where to go or what to do, but yet somehow you go towards the closest person that you can. And it happened to be that there was a surgical center set up momentarily there. And we went back to that part. And then the story goes that I've told this story so many times, that I ran into another boy that was shot, and he got shot right in the cheek of his ass, And so there we are. And he said, after a while, he says, you've got to help me take my pants down. I got to have an elimination. And so here we are. As you think of it now, it's crazy, but here you are helping some guy get his pants down because he can't, and you're helping him do something like this. And I have told that story many times, hoping that that individual was still alive and would come out with a story sometime, say, "Hey, yeah, that was me." But anyway, then immediately going back to our group and getting the company commander there, and he immediately sees the state of shock that you're in. So he says, "All right, you go back to the first aid area, And so then we did that and slept that night, the rest of the night. And then the next morning is when you're asking about the shrapnel on the shoulder. And, you never felt that. And there it was, sticking out of your shoulder at least a half an inch or more. And you never felt it.
Oh my
And
God.
it was just the one guy next to me said, "Hey, what you got in your shoulder?" I said, "I don't know." And so they looked at that and they said, "Oh, that's a piece of shrapnel." And so, you just handle something like that as if it's a scratch, and you go
Wow.
on.
Jeez.
Oh my God, it's really impressive, this story.
Yep. Well,
Oh my God.
Now,
I
is that
carried this.
is that
I
you
carried
named
the.
Purple Heart there, Ken?
Yep, that's it.
Did
I
you
was
get the Purple
at
Heart
the
for shrapnel?
at where I received the Purple Heart. The Navy doctor in the Navy hospital there in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and he awarded me the Purple Heart, or put it on me at that time.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, Paulo,
Oh my God.
see you again.
Uh,
What? Can you repeat, please?
I say it was great to see you again.
Thanks,
okay.
thanks. I didn't hear. Let me ask you just more than one question, very quick.
Real quick.
Okay.
Mr. Wells, what was your homecoming like? What kind of experience was that, returning home?
Returning home.
Yeah, after the war.
Yes.
Well, we had previously, as I left the farm, we had a 300-acre farm, and I returned to that. And started right back into the normal things of handling the tractors and doing crops and all that. And it happened to be that it was fall when I got out of the service. So it was still corn picking time. And so I went back to doing that. And, I wasn't really, uh, happy with that, or I wasn't really settled for that. It was just a customary thing that you just did, and
And
life,
okay.
life
And
was,
the reaction of your family when you returned home, how was that?
well, the family was very proud, very happy to see me, uh, and the experience of the trauma of war and going through what you did, of an instance where not a minute of the day was quiet. On Okinawa, there was the sound of either some explosion, a rifle fire, the weapons of the Navy, the shells. There was a constant noise, I think 24/7, you might say. And it affected you so that, you weren't the same person that you were when you left the farm as a little old 18-year-old kid,
Sure.
You grew up fast, and it was hard to, I think, accept that. And that's why that when my stepfather asked me if I wanted to take over the farm, I had to say no, because I had really grown up enough that I thought the farm life was not for me anymore. And I wanted to go to college. And so, and that's basically what I did. After a few months, why I just packed up and went to a college.
Wow.
All right.
Wow. Well, thank you
Mr.
for
Wells,
sharing that.
thank you
Okay.
very much for your service. Thank you very much for your service. If it wasn't for you, we would never be here today, have the opportunity to have this conversation. and live in freedom, at peace with our families. Thank you very much for everything you have done for us. I'm eternally grateful. And Mr. Neil McCallum, if you are watching this, thank you very much for your service as well. Thank you, guys.
All
Thanks
right.
for everything.
Thanks, Paulo.
We thank
Paulo.
you hang on to that
Alright.
philosophy. Okay.
Wow, all the way from Brazil, huh, Ken?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, he's only 18 years old. He's the same age as you were when you were in the Marines, which is pretty
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, you talk about how young you guys
That's
were.
crazy. That's crazy. I tell you, he's got a life ahead of him.
Yep. For
Yeah,
sure.
no, for sure.
Yeah. So in the comments, we have somebody, Rahul, writing in all the way from India. Thanking you for your service, Kenneth.
Well,
All over the world. It's pretty cool.
Wow, India. That's pretty amazing too.
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. All right, we're gonna bring in Peyton next. And as we're bringing her in, talk about what it was like being a flamethrower.
Oh, okay.
What was that like?
Well, that's a heavy monster. That's all I can say.
How heavy was that unit on your back?
Oh, that sucker weighs almost as much as I did.
And how much were you? How much did you weigh when you're in the service?
About 145 pounds.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, Peyton, can you hear us?
Hi,
Yes,
Peyton.
look,
Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you, Peyton.
I hear a young lady, is it?
Yep.
Okay. I don't see her yet, but
You don't see her?
uh-uh.
All right, go ahead
I
and talk.
see
How
you.
old are you? Where you're from?
I'm 12 years old and I'm from Michigan.
Where?
Michigan.
What part?
By Grand Rapids.
Well, I was from Battle Creek for years.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I lived there almost a little over 50 years.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Wow, it's a long time. Just as old as you are, Peyton.
Yeah. Well, young lady, what can I do for you?
Well, I would like to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
So you said you got like hit. How many times did you get hit and like what did you get hit with? Because I heard something about shrapnel, but I don't know.
Help me with that question.
How many times did you get wounded, or was it just the one time?
Oh, just wounded one time. You might say where I had that mortar drop and caused the concussion and caused the shrapnel to enter the body and all that stuff. So it was just a one time.
Do you have any other close calls?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you have any other close calls?
Yes. Oh, yes. Many close calls in that respect. I remember one time we were going around Sugarloaf Hill and we got into a ravine, like almost like a ditch, and then the Japanese started opening up fire from Okinawa into us, and you could hear a bullet go over your head. You could actually hear that, the ones you don't hear, you got hit with, but this would go over your head, the whistling noise, and that was where my friend Tori got killed, right, that particular day. So this of ammunition going over your head and close calls happen many, many times, but it didn't stop you until, shall we say, till that one time when I was knocked out, like a prize fighter.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. I mean, it's pretty amazing that you think that, you can be standing right here in this spot and the guy next to you is standing 6 inches away from you and he gets shot.
Right.
It's just.
Yeah, we were actually probably closer than that, but he got shot in the chest area, and apparently it probably got one of the main arteries, a coronary, or one of the aortas there, and he just went in shock immediately, and with no more knowledge than what you had at that time medically, you just, when he passed out and went into shock, you just assumed he died, and so. And he did, because there wasn't any corpsmen around it by that time, because they were all killed. So you couldn't holler for a corpsman, because you knew it wouldn't do any good anyway, because they weren't available at that time.
Wow.
How
Yeah,
did
it's
you
pretty.
deal with that?
Okay.
Sorry.
Like, how
What'd
did
you
you
say?
deal with that?
How did I deal with it?
Yeah, like if
psychological.
you, like one of your friends was just like right next to you and then dies like right in front of your face, like how? Like,
Well, your knowledge and what you were trained for, knowing what you were going to get into and how you were trained, put you in a perspective that you were being fired upon, you were being approached, and that guy out there was trying to kill you just as quick as you're trying to kill him. And so you look at it this way real quickly, and you have to almost at that time. You say, in your mind, you say, thank goodness that's not me. So I'll put it aside and go back and do what I'm supposed to do, and that is fighting at the enemy, shooting back at him. And that's what I did. And then almost immediately after that, why, this corporal, he come down through this trench and he's informing everybody what's going on. And of course we know what's going on, but he's telling us, hey, they set up a machine gun, a bamboo thing, Nambu, at Sugarloaf, and have gone back into Sugarloaf, because you could travel from one part of the island to the other underground and never be seen. The Japanese had that all set up that way. And so as he was walking along, bent over and talking to us, he got shot in the leg, and it broke that femur bone and started, hemorrhaging, and he immediately lost so much blood that he went into shock. And for lack of, we'll say, a surgical position or surgical group being right there to administer whatever they'd have to keep him alive, he passed away. And so with all that, you basically just turn around and do your job, and you start firing back at the enemy and try to stop him from killing any more people.
Yeah, I think it's
Wow.
it's like, as a civilian, that's really hard for us to even imagine. But the training you guys had was exceptional, that you literally were prepared for it. You guys had to be ready for that. So yeah,
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, it's really hard for someone just like us to kind of wrap our brains around because
Uh,
we've never had to experience anything
uh,
like
No, hopefully
like
we never have.
like to say, you do or you die.
for sure. For sure. Well, Peyton, it's good to see you.
Can I ask one more thing real quick?
Sure, real quick. Go for it.
So
Sure.
you said you got a Purple Heart. I just wanted to know, like, did you get any other awards or medals or anything?
No, no other prestigious awards, you know, like a Silver Star or on the other. No. There were many men that received that posthumously and physically from Okinawa, but I wasn't one of them. No.
Combat medallion, though, right?
What?
Combat medallion, infantry.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Oh,
That's
I
the
had
one
a whole,
that likes
you
that.
know,
Everybody.
when I came home, I had a whole chest full of ribbons and all of things that represent, like you have a ribbon that represents where you were in the Asiatic Pacific, and you have a combat, and you have a medallion like for your infantry weapon proficiency and all that stuff, you know. And so you have a whole chest full of ribbons. No,
For sure. For
Cool.
sure. Cool. Peyton, good to see you. You want to say goodbye real quick?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you, like, I'm sure you get thanked a lot, but the things you actually have to know, like, what you did was, like, you can't compare that to something that someone else could do now. Like, it's just, everyone has is eternally grateful for people like you, I guess that's what I'm trying to get at.
Absolutely.
now, how
Yeah.
old are you now?
Yes. How old are you, Peyton?
Oh, what?
Sid, how old are you?
I'm 12.
She's
What?
12.
12.
12 years old.
Oh my goodness. Well, I tell you, you're calling from Michigan, probably not too bad of weather right now, but you've had enough of it already. You probably are waiting for March thaw to come in.
Oh yeah, almost all of our snow is gone now. We've had a heat
Yeah.
wave. It's been like in the 40s or 50s. It's been really nice.
A heat wave.
All
A
right.
heat wave. And Peyton, we
Yeah.
were just talking about earlier that I have 3 shirts on right now because I'm so cold, and it's it's like 68 degrees here in California, and I'm still cold. And you're talking about a heat wave at 45.
I got
Oh
it
yeah, it's something like that in the
45 too.
late 30s. I don't know.
Wow.
Let me ask her a question.
Go for it.
How did you get connected with this program with Best Defense?
Well, I really like the show Band of Brothers, so I joined a Discord server, which is like a social media platform, and someone told me about these Zooms on there, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. I'm gonna do that. It's like you can't get that anywhere else. I'm gonna do that.
It's always interesting. No, I never know how people know about this or not.
They just pick it up. So that is great.
Just show
Well,
up and I'm like, all right.
all
Yeah.
right.
No, it's
Thank
important.
you.
I can't wait to get you guys back into the schools where you guys can have the veterans in the schools and you can talk to them. And, hopefully Mr. Wells will get up back to Michigan and you can introduce him to your class once we get going again.
Right.
How cool would that be?
Yeah, that would be very cool.
Yeah. Hey, Peyton, do you have a t-shirt, a Best Defense Foundation t-shirt?
No, not yet. I was just like looking at your stuff the other day, and I was like, maybe I'll have to pick one of these up.
Well, we would like to send you one. Okay,
Really?
so yeah, we'll send you one. Please send us a DM, direct message, and we'll send you out a t-shirt. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for your interest, because your generation is so important on passing on. Mr. Wells is passing history and moving it forward, in perpetuity.
Thank you.
That's right. That's great.
All right, cool. See you later, Peyton.
See ya.
Wow, that's super cool, huh? 12 years old.
12 years. That's
That has to put a smile on your face. Come on, that has to put a smile on your face. It does.
I
right?
would have never asked questions like they have at 12 years age. I wouldn't. I swear I wouldn't. No.
Yeah.
Are they back in school now? You know.
Well, everything is like it's like this here. It's all Zoom. You know, unfortunately. Yeah, it's like Zoom right now. But hopefully soon enough we'll get back to normal life, and you know, we'll get you guys back into schools and interacting with kids and telling your story, because that's all part of our education initiative to make sure that their generation knows and remembers what you guys did.
Yeah, and it's good. Very good.
We're gonna bring in.
Hey, I have a question.
Okay,
I have a question before we move on. You know, you're talking about when you know, some of your brothers got shot in the chest. You know, and we think about it now because our military now has plates, right? They wear plates. They wear Kevlar.
Oh yes.
And just the advance of medical technology is there. I mean, just, you know, they carry tourniquets and chest packing, you know. And I just think about, you know, if you guys were able to have that, there would be so many men alive today that would have survived those not common wounds now in the military, but back then, I don't think the casualty number of deaths would be so high.
It wouldn't have been because of the ammunition, grenades, the weaponry that we used to fight that war.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those wounds wouldn't have been, you know, some of the bullets wouldn't have been penetrated, you know, they just wouldn't. And so definitely there'd be many, many alive, you know, today, you know, from just normal flesh wounds that might have later died even from the infection that they would get from it. No.
Yeah, I mean, I read some of these stories where a soldier would get shot in the helmet, in the head.
Yes.
But the Kevlar stopped it from penetrating, and they survived. You know, I mean, it's just incredible. And back when you were fighting, that would have instantly, you know, been a death call for sure. Just amazing. I mean, because like you look at the Willys Jeeps, the Jeeps that you guys had. I mean, there's no armor on that. I mean, it's just a thin, super thin, right? You just think about like where we are today and how you guys fought back 76 years ago. It's just pretty amazing. I mean, it's just incredible. And you guys were tough. You guys were tough. And I don't know. I just think about this sometimes and just try to put into perspective. So,
you know,
hey, Patrick.
There was a friend of, got a new man in.
Yeah, we can talk later.
Yeah,
we got Patrick.
Yay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes, Mr. Wells.
Tell them where you're from, Patrick.
I'm from Philippines, Manila.
Manila in the Philippines.
Philippines, okay, very good.
About 3 a.m. for him right now.
Yeah, 3:14 a.m.
That's where young men should be in bed. Yeah.
He stays up all night just to talk to you guys. He comes on every time.
Right.
Well, Patrick, you got Mr. Wells there.
Yeah.
I got two questions for Mr. Wells. My first question is, what was your what was your thought the Japanese army using some childrens there during the Battle of Okinawa? Like, have you ever seen of those children fighting, suiciding like that?
So, did you ever run into the Japanese using children on Okinawa, like children to fight?
No.
You never saw?
No. The Okinawan family was a very peaceful family. And the only thing is they were brain fed with the idea that we would be very aggressive towards their population and of their women, of course. And that wasn't so. But the children had not been taught like what we expected would happen if we ever went into Japan itself, whereas the children were actually trained with wooden spears even to inflict as much danger as it can. But we never ran into any children of any resistance of that nature, you know, or of the family itself. No.
Interesting.
Interesting.
My second question is, can you tell me how was the Shuri Castle look like when you're in there?
The what?
Shuri Castle. Shuri Castle in Okinawa.
I don't know what you're saying.
What? I don't understand it either. Ask you again.
I don't know what you're saying, Patrick.
Okay,
The
I'm gonna
shooting?
repeat. Shuri Castle in Okinawa. The last defense of the Japanese in Okinawa.
The Shuri something?
Shuri Castle.
Shuri Castle?
Yeah.
Oh, Shuri
Shuri.
Castle.
Shuri
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Shuri Castle.
Oh,
Can
okay.
you can you tell me how it looks like when you're there?
Did you get to
Well,
see?
Or
If-
did you see the Shuri Castle?
Much as I can say about Shuri Castle is that was a stronghold of the Japanese defense, you know,
Yeah.
and that had to be destroyed, and we did destroy it. And that seemed to be a real heartbreaker for them, of course. And I know that years later, and I had another Marine friend who spent time on Okinawa, and this was after Shuri Castle had been rebuilt. And he sent me a book outlining all that and how beautiful it was 20 years later, shall we say, you know, that had been reestablished. But Shuri Castle and Shuri Ridge, Shuri area was the stronghold of their Japanese resistance, that we had to break through that, and it did, and they backed up as it went along, you know.
Now, were you there when you guys took it down? Was that your group, or did that already happen?
No, that was already happened
Okay.
because of bombing and all that, you know, and the ships shelling it and all.
Yeah.
So we just sort of ran over it, you know. It's
Yeah.
just like the city of Naha was just rubbles. That when we went through that, I know I asked, where are we? You know, all I see is a bunch of rubble and everything. And the guy said, well, stupid, said, this is the city of Naha. And so it was just one of these unusual things. Now, what do we have here?
Donnie at Shuri Castle.
That was
Oh wait.
that
Yeah,
was,
the gate.
yeah, that was a
The gate.
yeah, that was a couple of years ago. Steven Jackson from the Los Angeles Rams and I went to Okinawa to go visit our troops and watch the Super Bowl with a bunch of Marines
Yeah.
at Camp Shields. We stayed at Kadena Air Base, and we had an opportunity to go to Shuri Castle. And when you're talking about it, it brings back memories to know like this was their strong point that you guys are trying to get to.
That's
So-
isn't that beautiful today, you know, but
Yeah, it really
all
is.
that, you know, I never saw anything like that for sure.
Yeah, no, and you know, it kind of sits up high, and it's just interesting to see it today, you know, because it's a much different much different 76 years ago, 75 years ago. You know,
Yeah.
just it's a pretty amazing place to go to, and just especially knowing the history behind it too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, cool. Patrick, good to see you.
Yeah.
Go to sleep.
I would like
Appreciate you. Right.
I would like to thank Mr. Kenneth Wells, and it's a nice opportunity to talk with you and thank you for your service. Because of you, I will not be here today, sitting on this chair and talking with you guys.
No,
Man,
thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Wells.
Patrick, thank you so much, buddy. Thank you for your passion, your interest in keeping history alive. It's important.
Absolutely. All right. See you, Patrick.
And we got to get out to the Philippines. We need to go to the Philippines. Yeah, we got to get out there. And if we get out there, you're the first person we're calling.
I'm excited.
Right.
All right. Speaking of the Philippines, we got another Filipino girl waiting here. It's
All
on.
right.
Let's see if she's there. She's connecting.
Okay, I'm getting a little warm now.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm getting a little warm now.
yeah. Get warmed up.
Yeah, it's now 72 degrees, so warmed up a couple degrees, so I'm good now.
Layers you got on there. Anya,
Hello, am I audible? I don't really have a light source because it's super late, but I'll try to turn my video on.
all right.
You can't really see me.
Oh, we can see.
Yeah, we can see you a little bit. Come on, we can get a little bit
I
of
also
light.
want to apologize. You might hear like a few snores. That's my dog, Chester Nimitz. So, yeah.
Chester, that's awesome.
All right. Well,
hello, Mr. Wells. Can I just say that you don't look a day over 64? Like, honestly.
what do you think of that, Ken?
Well, that I
Sorry?
couldn't understand.
She said she wanted to say that you don't look a day over 64.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. Now
Yeah.
you tell her that I carry dollar bills all the time. And every time I hear a compliment that way, I give them $1. So if she comes to the United States, I'll give her $1.
Oh, you don't need to do that.
What do you say?
But I hope to see you soon. Yeah, hopefully.
Well,
I've
that
got
would
3
be good.
questions for you,
Okay.
if that's okay. So there's been like a lot of anti-Asian sentiments lately because of COVID, and I just wanted to ask like how you were like able to get over that, because you were in World War II and your generation was basically like brainwashed and like trained into like hating Japanese people. So I just wanted to ask like how you were like able to get over your like ingrained anti-Asian sentiments, if that's okay.
So like she's saying like you guys,
Yeah. Help me out with that.
so like in the war, you guys, there was propaganda, you guys were, taught to basically hate the Japanese because you had to go fight them.
Right.
And then when you came back, she's asking, were you able to, come to grips with that and learn to actually just have a respect for?
All right.
Yeah.
No anti-Semitism at all. I would say this, that I think it was 20 years after the war was over. There was a group of Marines that went back to Okinawa. And I think it was 20 or 25 years. And also there was a group of Japanese servicemen that were left that survived Okinawa, and they came back also. Now here you have 2 forces meeting each other on neutral grounds and supposed to be harmony. And one of my friends went and he said, the first day or so, we looked at these other Japanese soldiers and we had that anger in our minds, in our eyes. And he said, then gradually, as the program continued and explained how everybody suffered from this war, then your feelings came better and showing more of a kindness and a love for a fellow man. And he said, you know, after about 5 or 6 days of all this, we found that we were hugging each other. We got that close because we both went through the same traumatic trauma that war creates, you know. And it was hardship, you know, for the Japanese soldier. It was extreme hardship of, shall we say, living in tunnels and caves and suffering as they had, you know. They didn't have the luxuries, you might say, that if you call us having luxuries, but they didn't have luxury of having a full canteen of water, for example, or a good meal every day. And they had to fight under these severe conditions. So I think that the American soldier or Marine, he understood that after he got back home and everything is so nice, you know, back home and all. And so there's, you know, we've all forgotten about what happened, you know, way back in 45 or 42, you know, when they bombed Pearl Harbor and all. And now we're buying material from them, and they're our allies, and we buy their automobiles, all that stuff. That help you?
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was super wonderful to hear. For my next question, so a lot of people like start getting into World War II through movies and shows. I was 7 years old when I started like watching the Pacific with my grandpa. So I just wanted like to ask if you've ever seen like a World War II film or a show that made you go, that didn't happen, or that never would have happened. Like, did you have moments like that?
You ever watch shows and see and think like, that's not real? That didn't happen.
Yeah, did you watch the Pacific at all? Did you watch the series, The Pacific?
Yes. And, you know, it basically all true. The fact that certain things happened that you think was impossible, you know, and particularly I would say how we won certain campaigns in the Pacific there was amazing, you know, of the deception and the power that we had. I would say the movies did a pretty good job of it. You know, it wasn't as much propaganda as what Hitlerism did in Europe, and you know, Tokyo Rose. She welcomed us to Okinawa and told us how bad we were going to be defeated and that we were going to lose all of our loved ones back home and all that stuff. So I'd say basically involving the movies, I'd say it was pretty accurate, and they showed what war is really like at that time, and how bitter it can be, and how you carried the bitterness back home many times too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, besides the books and watching the old black and white videos, I mean, I think Hollywood has done a great job of trying to recreate that in color so that we can see it, our generation, and on your generation as well. So you can kind of have a feel of it. I think that kind of sparked so much interest you know, and just watching the Pacific, especially in the jungles on the islands. I mean, the mosquitoes, I mean, just, oh, I just can't imagine. And then the night
My
scenes.
backyard, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And how quiet it is. And then you have this bonsai charge and just like chaos. I mean, yeah. And to be able for us to kind of see it via, you know, a series like the Pacific, it gives us a small little taste of what it was like, I guess.
I know a lot of people have a problem with like war games and war movies, but I mean that was my introduction to, you know,
Yeah.
I went through a school system that taught me nothing about war, didn't have any family history or anything like that, but I played Call of Duty too, and Medal of Honor, and you know, it was the Brothers in Arms back in the day, and that's how I learned about World War II, and it got me into it. And
Yeah.
now here we are traveling the world with World War II vets and telling their stories. I mean, it's, you know,
You guys have come so far, basically.
It's great. It's wonderful. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. It's good.
You know, I think in the movies, you know, for example, over in Europe, even with the Air Force, and having to fly these strategic routes and having all that flak, you know, shoot up at you, you know, it gave us an idea of how those men really saw that, you know, and we on the ground never see anything like that particularly, you know, that how flak does explode like that and take off a wing of the airplane or an engine, you know. So it brought a lot of realism to us and brought the fight back home, you might say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Well, Anya, we gotta bring a couple more people, and we got a lot of people on the waiting list. It's good to see
Okay.
you again.
Thank you so much. I just
Thank
want to let you know that you're still like loved all the way here in the Pacific.
All right. Well, thank you, dear.
Thank you so much.
All right, hopefully
We love having you on. Make sure you come on next time for sure. And
Of course. We'll see you guys. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
love it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Philippines, still interesting.
Great.
I think it's like 3 o'clock. Hey, Austin, I think it's like 3 o'clock in the morning there.
3:30, yeah, 3:30 a.m.
Yeah, 3:30 a.m. So
Yeah, that's amazing.
All right, let's get back on this list here. We're gonna bring in Nathan, and then we're gonna bring in Camden, and then we're gonna bring in Matthew. So Nathan, Camden, and Matthew, be ready. Be ready. This is Nathan Wolschlager. I'm probably saying his name wrong. I know I do. Nathan W. We'll call him. Wow.
yeah, and
How you doing, Kenneth? You still doing all right?
Okay.
You still good for a couple more?
Oh yeah, shoot away.
Want to make sure we're
Hanging
not
on
taking your nap time or anything.
Yeah, there's no problem.
Awesome.
all right, it's connecting the audio. There he is.
Hello.
Nathan, how
can
you
guys
doing, buddy?
hear me?
Hello, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hello, Mr. Wells. First of all, I just want to thank you for your service. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome, sir.
Tell them how old you are and where you're from.
Well, I'm 14 and I'm from Michigan.
What part of Michigan?
Around Detroit, Macomb area.
Okay. Well, I lived in Battle Creek for over 50 years. So
That's
we're
where
both
my
Yep. We're both Michiganders.
So
What
I have a question. I have a question for you, Ken.
Yeah.
So you lived in Michigan for 50 years, but you're born and raised in Ohio. Are you
Right.
Ohio State or are you Michigan?
Well, it depends on how good the team is.
I like that answer. That's good. I like that answer. Good. Sorry, Nathan. Go ahead, buddy.
You're fine. So, my first question was, what was the food like for the Marine Corps over in the Pacific?
Terrible.
Did you get some spam out there?
Well, we had, we always say this, that the Army had all the K rations, the good ones, the bacon and all that stuff, Well, we had those little C rations that came almost like a Cracker Jack box, and it had just the normal things to sustain you. The biggest thing of it was that they had a round dish, you might say, of breakfast cereal, and you could put water with it, and make a little breakfast cereal, almost like oatmeal, I suppose would be like, and I swear I lived on that for days, because there would, I swear and sometimes I think if the war lasted longer on Okinawa, we would all have had malnutrition after a while, It sustained you, but it was not the best food in the world, It wasn't first class, with crystal or porcelain plates and all that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried any of the sea rations, Nathan? Or any kind of like?
No, I have not.
Oh
no, I've had MREs and stuff like that.
I've tried some of them. They're interesting.
Well,
Yeah, there's a guy on YouTube actually that opens up and eats a lot of the K ration, C rats, D bars from World War II, and he shows you that he eats them and they're still edible to this day. It's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Imagine how many preservatives are in those things. It's like crazy.
Oh, I wouldn't do it. I like to watch it. I just like, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's very,
like dehydrated food. They had a canned item in some of the rations that you'd open up, and I can't really talk intelligent about what was in that. You just sort of close your eyes and nose and ate it, type of thing.
It's like mystery meat, just like
right. That's it.
Yeah, I would just have to plug my nose and just like get what was happening.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy because you think about like the battle, right? So most people think about the battle and fighting the enemy and that kind of stuff, but there's some things that we don't think about, like sleeping, right? Sleeping, eating, going to the bathroom, like these things that no one ever talks about, but is so important. I mean, I've heard some stories where, in battle, guys have to go to the bathroom and it's a minefield, and they're tiptoeing, just knowing like my journey to go to the bathroom could be my last step.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. I mean, it's things you don't even think about,
There were probably, unfortunately, guys that died for something that insignificant. Like they were just trying to go to the bathroom and.
Right. I think there goes with, the saying like getting caught with your pants down, you know, it's like, it's crazy. It's things that we don't even think about though.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we don't have to think about it today. Thanks to what you guys did, Mr. Wells,
Well, it just, you lived on what you had built up, you might say.
Yeah, for sure.
Well said.
Another question?
I have one more question.
Go for
What
it.
was it like invading an island in the Pacific?
Well, there's so many islands in the Pacific, and in the history of the Marine Corps and all the islands that they took, had to take back from the Japanese, the islands early in the war, were were jungle. And then gradually, as we hit Okinawa, then we realized that now we're into a more of an open country, you know, with some little high hills, mountains, you know, and we found that in the northern part of Okinawa, it was more hilly and a lot of trees and all, but not real jungle growth, you know, like what we've been used to getting in the water. So that is what we went from a jungle to more of a little bit of a normal terrain that you might see. No, it wasn't not like over in Europe, you know, where it's all flat land. You might say that they had. The only thing that they would have would be fence rows, you know, that would stop you a little bit. That help you?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Excellent.
Hey Nathan, what are you wearing? You wearing some 42s or are you wearing some HPTs? What are you wearing there?
I'm right now wearing an M51 jacket, but I'm trying to find an M43 jacket for my World War II impression. And I'm also wearing a BDF hat. I'm gonna rock the hat.
Right on. Looking good, looking good. Hey, did you get that package that I sent you?
Yeah, yes, I did.
With the cards and everything? And what about that little baggie that I sent you?
Yeah, I got that too.
Can we see it? You got it close by?
Yeah, I actually put one of the stickers and I put it in a jar.
Oh, right on. So you want to explain to everybody that's watching right now what's in that jar?
So in this jar right now is sand from Iwo Jima that Donnie personally collected. So that is really cool.
Yeah, I sent it out to you, and I think I might have sent you the video of me collecting it, so you know exactly. That's from the sands of Iwo Jima. It's a black volcanic sand, and you also have the sticker that we're going to be doing our honor walk a week from today, right?
Yep.
Right on.
Very cool. Nathan, good to see you. Thanks for coming by.
What was that?
We'll see you on the honor walk.
Right
on. See you later, buddy.
See you later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thank you.
I don't know what was going on with his speaker.
Yeah, he's having some type of echo or something like that. Yeah. So he reached out to us and wanted to make sure that he got a little bit of sand from Iwo Jima.
Yeah.
And he was saying, well, I want to make sure that it's real. Like, trust me, I collected it from the beach. It's real. It's the real deal. It's a volcanic sand.
We don't mess around. It's real. All right, we're gonna bring in Camden now.
Yeah. Oh, that you know, Iwo Jima, they kind of stole some of our awards, you might say.
Oh yeah.
You know, they they raised a flag there, and it became a national symbol type of thing. And when we raised the flag on Okinawa, that didn't mean too much, you know, by that time.
They stole your thunder, huh?
Yeah, we kind of got defeated along that line. No, so they don't show a picture of we'll say Sugarloaf Hill.
Yeah,
there you go. The flag on Sugarloaf.
You know, they show more of just raising a flag on top of that volcano. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are raising their flag, and everybody's like, somebody already did.
Yeah.
Hey, Camden, how you doing? You're here with Mr. Kenneth Wells, 6th Marine Division.
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're great.
Very well.
Good.
Very
All
well.
right.
Well, tell them where you're from and how old you are, and Mr. Wells.
Kenneth, I am 17 years old, and I am from Vermont.
Vermont, very good. What can I do for you?
I just have one or two questions to ask you about your service. The first one I wondered was about, you guys were talking earlier, were you a flamethrower operator in Okinawa?
Yes, we, I got assigned to this company. At first, the group I was in was a replacement type of group, 29th Marines. And for a while, all we did was unload ships and all. Everything that came ashore, we unloaded. Then we got assigned to a company. And so that was the first thing that the captain said to me. He said, "Are you strong enough to handle a flamethrower?" And of course, being a Marine with all the ego in the world, you say, "Well, I'm strong enough to do anything." But it didn't happen quite that quick. But there was another very big guy, he's about 6 foot, and he was carrying that flamethrower, and it was wearing him out. He just couldn't handle it. So, they put that thing on my back, and I carried it for quite a while until I was able to pawn it off on another guy. And that's about what you had to do. You had to sweet talk somebody else into doing it,
Yeah.
But it's heavy, like 80 pounds on your back, plus your weapon that you're carrying. And that's, to see the picture in front of you there, that's exactly what you look like,
Yeah, it was
But-
probably pushing you down quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that photo. It's a pretty iconic photo. Is that from the Battle of Okinawa?
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like
It's
who knows?
it's a vicious weapon, and the Japanese soldier, he didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
That was one of his fears, because they were all in caves and tunnels, and you'd be surprised how hot standing 20 feet on each side of that flame, and it feels hot. It feels like you don't want no part of it. It's that
Yeah.
hot. It goes out there and does a destructive job.
I've heard that flamethrowers were used during that, because I know both Okinawa and Iwo Jima in the Pacific area were like heavily entrenched and caved areas where the Japanese would hide in those areas, like waging guerrilla war. And
Yeah.
I've heard flamethrowers were used to smoke those areas out and to clear tunnels and stuff like that. Is that true?
That's true. Oh yes, that's
Wow.
the only way you.
Oh,
That's
on both sides.
it's the way you get them out. That's all. You just you just, if they don't run out, you burn them out.
Wow. That is
Wow.
crazy.
That's just
What kind of
Yeah.
gas?
that's part of war. That's war.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
No,
wars.
it's not pretty.
That is wow.
Well, what kind of flammable was it? Was it just gas?
No, it was a different substance. Oh gosh. No, it
Like,
was it was kind of a jelly liquid, in there,
okay.
and that under pressure that was forced out through this little nozzle, where you had these little fire sticks, you might say, or round things like cartridges, and you had one trigger that tripped one of those off to make a match, and then your other trigger let this material flow under pressure through that, and that made the flame then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Because I know, like, from the gas, from what I've heard, I know that, like, obviously when you think of flamethrower, I think of like Vietnam flamethrowers, which like they use napalm, which is like a heavily unstable gas or mixture of chemicals and stuff like
There
that.
you go. Yep.
Yep. I was wondering if it
That's
was the same for World War II, but I didn't know that you guys use a different material or substance.
Oh yeah. They they had tank flamethrower. You heard You've heard that, have you? Some of the tanks on Okinawa were,
Those things are terrifying.
yeah, and they would, I mean,
The Sherman tanks, were they? Or
they
the
were,
flame
yeah,
tanks?
yeah, tank is shoot a big flame out from the tank, and tank flamethrowers.
Now,
That
were
was
that
The Japanese, because like
huh?
What, Austin?
he's using any kind of flamethrower?
No,
No.
no, not on us. Mm-mm.
Okay.
No,
I feel
they're
bad for the Japanese in that case, because like it's scary enough someone coming at you with a flamethrower, but like a tank with a flamethrower, that's even worse.
that's wild. I mean, that makes you run. Yeah.
Yeah, it would make me run, that's for sure. And
I
you
mean, just
said,
the heat alone of it. I mean, just the heat alone, because I know, like, just going to Las Vegas and when you're watching yeah, exactly. And you feel that heat and you're so far away. I can yeah, exactly. You know?
Away, and it's like, oh man, get me back from this.
yeah,
And that's
exactly.
how we compare things when we go to Vegas and we feel that heat. We're like, this must be what war is like. No, we don't feel it.
My experience that I'm most happy about in a way is in Okinawa, they hid everything, you might say in a cave, and then brought it out. And on this one large hill, there you see a flamethrower tank right there.
Yeah.
Now, okay, but anyway, in this large hill, they chewed out an area wide enough to have a locomotive train on tracks with a cannon, and they would fire that up in the evening, and they would back it out, and then they'd fire a couple rounds, and then they'd bring it back inside, and you never knew where it was coming from, and the airplanes and all couldn't spot it because they had it all camouflaged, and we ran into that area when I had the flamethrower, and it was all covered with a kind of a camouflaged canvas, and I asked the captain, I said, let me burn that canvas off of that sucker, So I used a whole flamethrower and I burnt that sucker right down, and the canvas caught a fire and all that stuff, Didn't do any damage to the locomotive, but it exposed it anyway. And by this time, they never used it after that, of course, because we had already taken the area. But that's my delight of my flamethrower that I can really appreciate.
Burn that canvas.
Yeah, burning a canvas, big deal, I won't talk about the holes that I filled full of fire,
Yeah. So from what I've heard, I mean, I know that this one short thing. I know that flamethrowers, from what I've heard, are unstable and stuff like that. What if it was like shot or something like that? What would happen then?
I don't know. I never got that. Never got that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well,
No, if those cylinders were penetrated by a bullet, I don't think anything would happen, because you've got to have something to ignite that stuff, and whether that would ignite it, I don't think so.
But
yeah, because there's the common rumor about like if it was shot, it would blow up just because of something like that. I didn't think that was true, because you got to think about it like in a physics sort of way. You got to have something to light that gas in order for it to go like that.
Right.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think
but never happened to me. Never happened. I never got shot at while I was carrying the flamethrower.
I bet that was a relief at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, cool. Camden, good to see you again.
Hey, thank you guys so much. And Kenneth, thank you so much for your service. I
you
myself
really thank you.
Do as well. You were very welcome.
All right, cool. See you, Camden.
See you guys.
Buddy.
I love it. All right, so let's see. We've got a picture of that rail gun here.
Oh yeah.
So that was
But they
wrapped in
did.
canvas, huh?
They did pull
It was
that
wrapped in
sucker
canvas, so
out.
they kind of hid. It was
Yeah.
kind of camouflage, and they bring it out, and
That's it.
Wow,
wow,
he's a monster.
that was pretty
Yeah.
big in World War II. I know the Germans had a railway gun as well.
It's several.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, wow.
yeah. Thing's a
Well,
beast.
the Japanese were good at deceiving things, hiding, then bringing things out.
Yeah, yeah. Dang. All right.
Cool.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring in Matthew next, and there's still about 10 or 11 people waiting. So after Matthew, we'll bring everybody in one at a time, like kind of a rapid fire. So you can come on, and they can just
Say hi.
you say something really quick. So it'll have
Okay.
30 seconds each. So
Right. Cool.
Very
And we'll
good.
mute everybody and let everybody get a chance to speak.
Yeah.
let's bring them in one at a time.
we'll meet.
Understand.
So everybody else who's waiting, besides Matthew, we'll bring you in. You can say thank you. You have about 30 seconds. I apologize, but yeah, we're just running out of time. So
Yeah, and then at the end, Austin, we definitely want to show a short minute video of one of our guys who just a little tribute video. We'll show that after.
okay.
Okay.
All right. Bringing in Matthew now. And everybody, smash that like button. We're almost at 100 likes. So everybody, if you're still watching, smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell notification so you always know when we release a new video.
That's right.
All right, Matthew, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. That 20-second delay is nice.
I know, it's crazy.
That bear shirt is not nice though.
Oh,
You do that on purpose, right? With me,
No, this time I actually just grabbed it on my.
right?
taunting him.
Yeah. No, I just remember one of my highlights playing against the Chicago Bears is back in 1999. I picked up a fumble for 83 yards and ran a touchdown at Soldier Field, which is pretty incredible because we all know the history, what happened on that field.
And you played there before they renovated the place.
Yeah, before and after.
Donnie played all the classics.
Yeah, that's great.
Anyways, you have Mr. Kenneth Wells there.
Mr. Wells?
Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Matthew Aronson. I am 26 years old. I live in Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah. So in terms of the battle, I asked one who was on earlier, what was the fighting north like for you in the wooden areas near Mount Yataki and
I came in, I think about the 4th wave. And so by this time, the 29th and the 6th Marines were already heading inward and securing the airport right off the beach there. And then they were turned north. Well, I then stayed and helped unload ammunition and other supplies for a while. And then they all went up north and sealed that. And then on the way back, I was assigned to a company. So I missed all that up north. But I know that while we were helping unload supplies, that one day a group of us took off, and we went further north than what the average did, in the area. And we saw the terrain as it was with the mountainous and grown up. And we ran into several homes of the Okinawan, so we could see how they built and how they lived and all that stuff, And we did that one day, and but that's as far as north I got.
So when you got assigned to the 29th Marines going south, how scared were you when you saw some of the Army guys and some of the Marines coming back who had already fought on the line there?
Well, my first experience of a wounded man was I was asked to help retrieve some of the men, that had been killed, and this was the first awakening for me of death. And I may be a little morbid, but my attitude basically was that that man that we put his body on that truck, wasn't me. And that kept me going, It was almost like, winning a basketball game. I didn't feel sorry for the opponent, I felt glad that I had won, So I guess I kept that morbid attitude during the war that when someone else got killed, I almost said, that's not me. I'm thankful.
All right. What was the fighting in at post Sugarloaf Hill, which I know you took that hill 11 times after losing it.
Back and forth.
Fourth.
That was a type where you never saw an enemy hardly. Maybe you saw them pop out of a hole and throw a grenade, but it was the type of thing that you got up there and you thought, hey, this is a cheesecake. This is a walk in the park, and then all hell breaks loose, And what they would do, they'd come out holes down the slope of Sugarloaf and then lob grenades back up on you, So it was a constant thing, They in and out. They had that island so I trying to think of the name, colonized. They have tunnels all over the Cotton Island, and they could go from one part of the island to the other, and you'd never see them. They had the whole army underground. They had their hospitals underground. They were all electrified, lit up. But the whole 28th Army there was underground, And at first you'd say, "What's wrong with me? I've never seen any enemy yet. What's wrong with me?" Well, so many people that because they were in holes all the time in caves, and they only came out to throw. There's
the Sugarloaf.
And it was filled. And this is the trench area right here where I was at one time, And
there?
Austin, move the mouse towards the trench area.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, and that's where we got fired upon from Sugarloaf. They went back into Sugarloaf after we had sealed it and thought we had it all taken care of and everything was done. But they went back in there and set up. Yeah, no, down lower they did, way down lower here. That's where the firing came from. Yes.
Interesting. Wow.
So what was the fighting in Naha like post Sugarloaf, if there wasn't much fighting?
In Naha?
Yeah.
No, I think between the ships and the bombing, they flattened that like a tornado would, If you've seen a tornado in your part of the country, why, there wasn't a rubble over 2 foot high when we walked through that. They had just destroyed a whole city. Now they got McDonald's down every corner.
Wow.
Yeah. Thanks to you guys.
How bad was the rain when you guys passed?
Oh, don't talk about rain to me. I tell you, How would you like to be
That's why
in
I
a,
moved to Florida.
yeah, be in a foxhole, you know, you dig a foxhole, you know, and the rain would come and fill that sucker up, you know, and you had to stay there all night long, you know.
You can imagine you had a lot of
And
cases of French flush.
the mud, you know, it mired the tanks down, it mired the trucks down. It was, they didn't have super highways, you know, for us to fight on, shall we say, you know.
Right.
It just wasn't, you know.
For sure.
What were some of the ways you guys kept your weapons clean or just operational? Didn't kiss the mud. Just, gotcha.
You know, and that I would say if the average Marine would be honest, he would say, I didn't know how to really take care of my weapon in a salt atmosphere area. You know, there's seawater and salt, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, you just ignore your weapon, you might say, thinking it would function forever, you know, just without cleaning or doing something. But that's one thing that we did. The group I'm around, you know, we had weapons cleaned and we took care of them in good shape, you know, and you had to take them apart and clean everything spick and span or it would not function.
Sure. For sure. Well, cool. Matthew?
Yep.
You got any other thing you want to ask real quick?
Well, I should probably bring this up. This time I actually did. I put in a link to the 6th Marine Division documentary that I sent you guys. Takes place, actually, it's a lot of footage from the battles north to the fighting south and Sugarloaf, some footage of Naha.
Yeah.
It's actually from 1946. It's really good. You might actually, you might be in it for all I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that. We'll make sure that we touch on.
For
But
sure.
yeah, but no, how? So you got hit like around mid-June. What kind of well, you know what? Never mind. What do you remember about the Battle of Sugarloaf very specifically? Like, what are some of the how many times did your regiment charge up and try to take the hill?
That's basically all you did, you know, and you went up, came down the same way you went up, I'd say. And I know the first time that a buddy of ours went up there and they came back down, they got kicked off. And as he went by me, you know, we were close and I grabbed him and I said, "What's it like?" And he said, "All I can say is carry all the grenades that you can handle." And that was the choice of weapon. Now, some of the weapons that they show, well, today, like glorified shotguns, you know, type of thing. I would have given anything to have an automatic shotgun.
Yeah.
On Okinawa.
Yeah.
I would have given anything for that.
I remember a veteran from the 22nd in some documentary. His name was Jack Houston. He talked about how he was a part of Major Courtney's charge up the hill, and he just talked about the grenades and just the bonsai charge and how when he got to the top of the hill, he could see all this logistics stuff going on with the Japanese. And then then it just blew up. The hill just blew up because it was like mined or something. He got knocked off the hill, and then they lost the hill again.
Yeah, there's story after story with that.
There was a guy named Max. I think it was Max Bear or something. This guy who had he fired a 30 caliber machine gun and just pull guys out with 3 tanks.
Oh boy, yeah. The Japanese destroyed many tanks. You know, the satchel explosives. You know, They're
also
very good
man
at that.
explosives.
Yeah.
I know one of their tricks was they bury themselves in a shell hole and then they just bang on an artillery shell to blow it up.
Yeah. Right.
Crazy.
True.
Well, Matt, thanks for coming by.
Oh yeah, one more thing. This one's for Austin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
God too.
Hey, you're not the only. Hey, you guys aren't the only ones who got into this through video games. Hell, the closest I've been to Shuri Castle is when I was fighting in it in World at War, and that just gives you an idea what the Japanese were like. I mean, it is just insane fighting them in that game. It's just
terrifying.
Oh yeah, I mean, they just come out of nowhere and then they
start running after you. It's like,
yeah, no, crazy for sure.
VR that stuff. I wouldn't even want to VR.
Yeah, we're all gamers. We're all gamers. I started with Allied Assault.
Yeah.
In 02, and then went to COD and onwards. But yeah, I mean, I think it's good for the generation to just get a feel and to see it and to learn.
One thing I like about video games is that they give guys the experience of what it is actually like, what Mr. Kenneth went through and what all those guys went through. It gives them an actual experience of actually fighting in those kinds of environments.
Right.
For sure. Well, cool. Thanks, Matt.
All right. Anytime, guys. See ya.
See ya. All right. So right now, we're going to show a little video. That's just a minute, like a 2-minute video. This week was actually a pretty tough week for us at Best Defense Foundation. We heard about the passing of one of our longtime friends, John Coates, of the 508th Parachute Infantry Division. And he's traveled, I know Donnie's been on more trips with him than I have, but
I've been on, yeah.
I went on 3 with him, and I got to film. I went to his home and got to film him there. And man, just such a great guy. Such a great guy. So we're just going to show a little memorial video for him real quick so everybody can see it. And this is before we even put it on our page, so you guys are seeing it first here. So hold on a second.
Mr. John Coates, 82nd Airborne medic.
Yeah. So let's see.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we're going to show this real quick here. Hope everybody can hear it. Hear it, Donnie?
I hear it.
My name is John Coates. I was a paratrooper in the 508th Parachute Infantry 82nd Airborne Division during World War II. And that's me in the back, the last one.
What do you want people to remember about your sacrifice and your brother's sacrifices?
Just also be a patriot. That's all. We can all be patriots if we really want to be. There's no country like this one that has been before or since, and it never will be, in my opinion. We need to defend our Constitution because I feel the Constitution does make us exceptional. It's the only difference between us and other people. It's our Constitution.
So for you, that was worth dying for?
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel that even at that young age, I owed the country something. I decided to make peace with myself before I went into the airborne, and I never looked back on that. Having been in the war, I'm glad I did. If I had it to do over again, I would do the same thing.
That's great. That's great. You did a great job with that.
Yeah, he was a great guy, and hearing his soft-spoken voice again, man, such a good guy, such a good guy. Yeah. So yeah, we want to honor him and remember him And you know, every time we lose one of our buddies, it's hard, because you guys, like, just like you, Ken, like, we become friends with you and we get attached, and you know we don't have you guys around forever, so that's why we love doing these, connecting people with you guys, because we're the last generation who gets to do it.
Well, they're fewer every day.
Yep.
Yeah, we're just so lucky to be able to share this space with heroes, truly heroes. I mean, when the Japanese bombed us in 41, you know, you guys didn't run away and hide. You actually stood up and said, let's go, let's fight. We're going to defend this country and defend our values and defend freedom. And you guys did. You know, we got punched in the face. You guys stood up. And because of that, we're able to live in this country today. So thank you, sir.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And on the lines of honoring our men and women who served, next Saturday, we will not be doing a live Zoom, because next Saturday is our Iwo Jima honor walk for everybody. And it's free for everybody to participate. We want people all over the world to participate in this. We're doing a 5K walk wherever you are. It's a virtual walk. So you go out and you do a 5K, take some pictures, upload them to the internet and share them with, and tag us, because people all over the world are going to be going out next week and walking to remember and honor the boys who fought in the Pacific. So we want as many people to participate in that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Absolutely. So sign up on bdf.org. Go buy a shirt if you want. Everything you buy off of there supports what we do, helps us bring more veterans back to the battlefields. So bdf.org, go buy something. Support what we're doing. We love it. We love you. And we just love what we get to do. So it's a lot of fun. So right now, in 20 seconds, we're going to bring everybody who's still in the waiting room in for 30 seconds, just so you can say whatever you want to Mr. Wells. Say thank you for your service, whatever. Tell him how old you are, where you're from. So we don't have time for everybody to ask a question, but we want you to be able to get on and say hi and say what you want. So if you're
Very
still
good.
in the
Good.
room on Zoom, you're going to be coming on one at a time, just real quick. So 30 seconds. Please don't make me kick you off. All right, so we're going to bring in Caleb first. What's up,
Muted.
Caleb?
He's muted.
Oh yeah, now he's there.
There he is.
Hey, Mr. Kenneth.
Don't make me kick you off.
Yeah, mute your audio.
So, but since I know I have limited time, I'm gonna try not to cry, because y'all about making me cry now.
I know, I was trying not to cry with that one.
Yeah.
Well,
was-
sir, Mr. Kenneth, I just want to say I was here early on, and I just want to say that you're truly our heroes, and me and a bunch of the guys been on and haven't been on yet, well, in the chat earlier. And we just want to let you know that we all are so thankful for what you've done and what you've sacrificed for us, and that you're just our idols and our heroes, and we just strive to be like you guys every day. And because there's a reason you call it the greatest generation.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you.
I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for defending our rights and our freedom. And I just like to say I'm so thankful to have the opportunity to come on and say thank you for your service, sir. Because without you guys doing it and saying it like you did, the world would be a lot different of a place. And I just want to let you know we will forever be grateful.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. All right, Caleb, good to see you, man.
Good to see y'all. Oh, I signed up for the Iwo Jima walk.
Right on.
Awesome.
I'll be there. All right, bye, Mr. Kenneth. Thank you for your service and sacrifice. Have a blessed day. God bless you, and stay safe.
Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Nathan, you're coming on, even though you can't hear me right now. Because it's 20 seconds delayed. He has no idea. And I don't know if he's there. Nothing's happening. Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Hi, Nathan.
Hi.
Did you get the memo?
Yeah, I got the memo.
All right, cool. Well, you're on with Mr. Kenneth Wells. Tell him how old you are and where you're from.
I am 12 years old and I am from Ireland.
Oh boy. That's great.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nate.
I'd like to thank you for your service. Because if you hadn't done what you had done, we wouldn't be here right now talking to you.
Thank you.
For sure.
Mm.
Cool.
Thank you, Nathan.
Nate, thanks for coming by, man. Thanks for watching. We always appreciate it. You're
Bye.
always here. All right. See you
Okay. Bye.
Bye. All right, let's bring in Austin, but he can't hear me either. So, whatever. Can you hear us, Austin?
Yes, hi.
Awesome.
First of all, Mr. Wells, I just want to thank you for your service. If it wasn't for you, this world would be a whole lot different. Thank you for defending our Constitution and everything we hold true. I had a relative in Pacific, and he died from a mortar shot right next to him.
Wow.
Well, thank you. Thank you for all you're saying.
Austin, how old are you? Where are you from?
I'm from Minnesota, and I'm 11 years old.
Okay, very good.
So many young kids, Kenneth. Are you surprised to see how many young kids are interested?
That's amazing. If they, you'd think they'd forget about World War II. It happened before they were even thought of.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, well, Austin, good to see you.
Yes, good to see you guys too.
All right.
All right.
Love it.
It's incredible. There's so many young kids that are so interested in what you guys did so many years ago. We're so blessed to have this generation to push and keep the flame flowing.
Absolutely. Grayson, can you hear us?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, my name is Grayson Mobley. I am 19 years old, currently in college. I just want to say I have a few questions, but I know I can't ask them right now. But hopefully I can ask them later if there's another live stream for you, Mr. Wells. But at the very least, for now, I'd like to say thank you so much for your service. It means every time I think about it, it means more and more. But it means so much to me and to others in my generation, to everyone, everything that you went through, that you fought for in order to secure, and I am so grateful for that. There's definitely a reason why you are among the greatest generation. I just really thank you for your service. I thank you, Donnie and Austin, for putting this together, allowing us to talk with these amazing men. And I hope that everyone here has an awesome and blessed day. So until next time.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for coming by, Grayson.
Thank you.
Awesome. I love it. Got a couple more in here. Bringing in James now. James, are you there? I don't see him. There he is.
Hello.
James, how's it going?
Good. How are you? I'm 17 years old and I'm from South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
you're on with Mr. Kenneth Wells. You got something to say?
Oh, I have more to say, but in this limited time, I can't say everything I want to.
Yeah.
I just gotta say thank you guys. I've been here for almost 2 full hours, but I've listened to every single word you guys have said. I kill for this stuff. This is amazing.
Well,
You know,
come back next time we do it, and hopefully we'll have more time.
oh yeah. You know, I was literally learning about you guys a month ago, and it's so surreal to sit here and speak with someone who fought in arguably one of the most popular wars that we learn about. And I like my heart can't stop beating. I'm so excited to be here. But I know our time's limited here. But I just want to say thank you, Mr. Wells, for your service. I mean, your generation, they gave all just to give us more. I know a lot of people in our generation don't appreciate you, but just I do. I personally do, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just say, man, love the guys. I love the guys at BDA. I love what y'all do. Hopefully,
we love it too.
Hopefully, we can do this another time, man.
Absolutely.
Right on. Well, you can rally your friends and your family next Saturday for the Iwo Jima walk. You know, get them together. You know, lead it. And I encourage everyone to create a team and to get your friends and family together in your area and, you know, talk about what happened. Talk about some of the battles in the Pacific. Talk about Okinawa. Talk about Iwo Jima and the casualties and what it was for. It's about education. We got to keep this education of the history going, or we're going to repeat it. You know, so take it on yourself. Be a leader. Get out there and let everybody know, because your interest is going to spark other people's interest by your passion. So make sure you take the lead on it and do it. Everybody's watching. Take the lead. Be a leader. Go out there and rally your troops and let them know the importance of this battle.
Absolutely.
True words, man. Thank you guys so much, and thank you, Mr. Wells, for your service, man. I'll love you guys there, and have a good one.
All right.
All right. Thanks for coming.
Yep.
Love it. Love it. Good stuff. All right, we got Dylan coming in. Dylan.
You're live, Dylan.
Oh, hi guys. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Hey.
Can I first of all say I'm from the UK and I'm 17.
And you're in, where are you at right now?
I'm in the UK.
Oh, you're in the UK. Okay, that's right. I was thinking you were in a different country for some reason, but that's right. Cool.
In this short time, can I just say, Donnie, Austin, all the Best Defense Foundation team, thank you so much for what you do. An incredible job, you know, every day. And rest in peace to John Coates. You know, like you, Ken, he was one of the two heroes from across many different nations who fought to protect freedom and democracy. So thank you so much to Mr. Coates, and thank you so much to you, Ken, for your service and all you did in World War II.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Very cool. Very heartfelt. Thank you so much, Dylan.
Thank you, guys.
Love it. Hopefully next time we can get you on and have some more time. All right.
Well, thank you.
All right. See you. All right. So we got, I know we've talked to him before, but it's Sikh Radu.
Hello.
Hello. What's your real name?
Radu.
Radu. Okay, that's right.
Yes. First I want to say hello, Mr. Kenneth, and thank for everything that you did. I'm from Romania. If you don't know where it is, it's in the Europe next to Ukraine. It doesn't matter. I wanted to say first, I really appreciate what you've done. And can I share something? It's from World War I. I mean, it's even older. It's World War I bayonet.
Oh wow!
Wow!
It's originally in this family from a lot of time. It's, I don't know, 100 years.
World War I bayonet. Wow!
I have a helmet. It's not original, but it's an 88 helmet, and I just wanted to show it because
cool.
Yes, and
really cool.
And how old are you?
14.
14 in Romania.
Yes.
Wow. You ever been to Romania, Ken?
Never been there. No.
Been there either.
Oh, no.
Very cool. Well, Radu, thanks for coming by, man.
Thank you a lot. Have a nice day and have a nice life and stay safe during COVID.
You will.
Have a nice day.
Thanks, you too. All the way from Romania.
Cool. All around the world, Ken. It's pretty amazing. You got Philippines, Colombia, Brazil, Ireland. I mean, just all around the world. There's so much love and support from this next generation. They're all young kids, you know, and it's just really special to, you know, to have them
Amazing.
come on and show some love to you.
That's just amazing, really.
And who we got here?
Hello.
What's your name?
Hi, my name is DT Tabassum. I am 19 years old and I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
Very cool.
Awesome. Before I start, first of all, I'd like to say a huge thank you for your service, Mr. Wells. And thank you for this amazing opportunity, Mr. Edwards and Mr. Bishop. I have been following your Best Defense page on Instagram for quite a while, and it's an amazing organization. And I'm truly honored to have this opportunity to speak to a real World War II veteran and also the creators of this amazing foundation.
Well, we love to do it. This is why we're here to create these opportunities for everybody.
Definitely.
That's great. We thank you.
No problem. If it is okay, am I able to ask a few questions?
Well, you're the last person, so go ahead. Go ask a question.
Awesome. Alrighty. So, Mr. Wells, what motivated you to enlist in the Marine Corps instead of the other branches? Like, was it family history, or was it because of the motto of the Marine Corps, or?
I was supposed to go in the Navy back in 1945. And when I went to induction center, this Marine sergeant came up and said, I need 2 volunteers, you and you. That's how I got in the Marines.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's simple.
You and you.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, did you enlist as a enlisted man, or were you a officer in the Marine Corps?
No, I was drafted at that time. If you recall, they had a draft, and they drafted everybody.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I've been since this is a huge hobby of mine, learning about war history, since it's something I'm majoring in university, in like history, and like it's always fascinated me, especially seeing like how the training has changed from like the 1940s till today. It's really amazing.
It is.
For sure.
Yep.
Crazy how much has changed.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking to someone who created the history that you're reading in the books right here. This gentleman right here. I mean, think about that, right? Instead of the book, you're talking to real history where it was created. These men created the history that we read today.
Mr. Wells also contributed in creating the modern image of the Marine Corps too. Like till this day, like whenever you talk about the Marines, everyone thinks of World War II, Iwo Jima, the Pacific, Okinawa.
Yeah, that's good. And they are, a Marine is always proud that he was a Marine, and he always will be a Marine.
Semper Fi.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. DT, it was great to meet you. Hopefully next time we'll have some more time. I'll make sure put your name on the list so I know, you know, because sometimes I don't know if people are even real on there, you know.
Well, if people put their real name on there, it'd be a lot easier, right?
Well,
so you know,
real
moving forward, if everybody puts their real name on their Zoom, would be great.
I didn't know if that
Definitely.
was or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
real name, DT, cool.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for having me, Mr. Edwards and Mr. Bishop. I am a huge fan of BDF, and thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. And Mr. Wells, thank you so much for your service, and have a great rest of your day, sir.
Right. Thank
All right,
you.
goodbye, everyone.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Well, did you enjoy it?
We do have one other person in here actually that I didn't notice. So we'll bring him on real quick and then we're done. All right, I think this is, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, Agalos. He's I don't know what these words are, but he said on our YouTube chat, it's Agalos.
Hello, sir.
How do you say your name?
It's Agalos. I'm Greek. Sorry, I forgot to change it to English. So yeah, sorry.
Agalos, yeah.
That was
No
my
worries. How old are
mistake.
you? How old are you?
I'm
And where in Greece
14.
are you from?
In Thessaloniki. No, I also had basically because well, they're not alive anymore. Some veterans in my family. My grandfather's grandpa, a little bit, too far in the past, fought in the Great War, but was killed by the Nazis in the Corsiatis massacre.
Wow.
And his son, my great grandfather, fought in the Greco-Italian War during the Second World War.
Oh,
I
wow.
would like to thank you for your service. You did not only serve America, you served the rest of the world. Hopefully, we won't be forgotten. Sadly, our generation will be the last one to get a chance to talk to World War II veterans, and hopefully, your stories will never be forgotten.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
If we have it's up to
Welcome.
me, it's up to you, Agalos, to make sure that these stories are never forgotten. Especially, I mean, you're the next generation coming up through the pipeline that, the people following you aren't going to have the opportunity like that you have or you just had. Like, you're going to be the one to carry that on to the next generation. Like, kind of like we're doing this to your generation, then it's going to be up to you to do it to the next generation. So that's very cool. And how old did you say you were?
14.
14. Okay, perfect.
Wow. No, it's amazing. Yeah.
It would be like a lot easier to, get more people interested in history from my generation. It's like a school cared about the Second World War and generally about the World Wars in general a lot more than they do. But like we only usually learn about what happened here in Greece. We don't learn what happened in the rest of the world.
Really? Wow.
Yes, we do, but it's like we learn it really quickly. It's a lot quicker than.
Yeah, just kind of skim through it.
Yeah, it's fast. But you know what? I encourage you and all the kids watching, everybody watching, to be a leader in your area. Let people know about your passion, right? You make it cool again. Like, you make history important and explain to them why it is, because, people feel passion and they know if you're passionate for it, they want to be part of that too. So I encourage you guys, be a leader, make it happen. You can do it.
Sadly, I won't be able to, participate in this 5 kilometers march you said about because, well, here in Greece we are celebrating the 200 years of independence from the Ottomans. So yeah, we will be celebrating that instead.
That makes sense.
All right. Well, you'll be there in spirit. There's going to be many people walking in solidarity around the world together. So,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, cool. Agalos, awesome to meet you. And I'll put you on our list. I don't know how to read Greek, so I didn't know what the heck that said.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I know.
Now I know.
It's quite complicated for foreigners.
Hopefully we'll see you again.
Great.
Okay. Goodbye, sir.
All right.
See you again.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
All right, that's everyone.
That's it.
Enjoy yourself, Kenneth.
I'm still with you.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was great. There's a lot of history yet.
Sure.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's special.
Amazing. It just, I have a whole bunch of stuff like this, and all that is been documented as a day by day war in Okinawa, you know, and the advancement of the 6th Marine Division and all. And this, I showed this earlier, I think, but this here, you see that?
Yes.
Hey, that was put together by another Marine, this Ken Long from Battle Creek, Michigan. And it written by him and also by a whole bunch of other Marines, you know, that were on Okinawa, and their, shall we say, their life on Okinawa, you know, and some of them, their life after Okinawa, you know, of having post-traumatic stress problems and the defeat in their own bodies and minds, you know, that came about because of that, you know.
Right. Is there a way that people could get a copy of that?
It would have to just be copied, you know.
I see. Okay.
You see, it's page after page written, and the maps on Okinawa and everything else. But
wow,
if someone wanted to take it and print up volumes, that would be good, you know. But
yeah, it's history. It's history from the first from first person, which is great.
Yeah.
So
it takes someone to back that up.
For sure. Well, Mr. Wells,
yes,
it's been an absolute pleasure for us to spend this time with you, and now it's my opportunity to say thank you so much for your service, and we we're doing our best to honor you guys, and we want to make sure that you guys, the real heroes, are put back in the forefront. And
well, thank you. It's my privilege to be interviewed through Best Defense and all the things that you have done for these veterans, you know. And it's nice to get one-on-one, you know, see a face that I've heard about so much, you know, that you're good history yourself there, Connie. You know, if you run the field of Chicago, shall we say, you know, 99 yards, man, oh man, I'm sorry I missed that, you know. Really am. I'm glad to meet the man in person now, you know. And I appreciate, you know, Joe Conway. I met him the other day.
Yeah, he's great.
He and his family, they came to Indian Rocks Beach and Largo, and we had dinner together one evening.
Nice.
And so he's a good man too. So, and all the people in your task force, I call it, you know, that have been so gracious during our time when we thought we were going to be celebrating, you know, the end of World War II again, you know, but we'll do it sometime again, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
We're going to do it this year. We'll let you know as soon as everything comes clear as we move forward, but we're going to make it happen. You know, we have the 80th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor in December, which we're in discussions right now, and it's going to happen. And anyone who wants to go back, any World War II veteran wants to go back, we're going to make it happen, you know. So I'm excited. So it's going to be great. We'll just keep moving forward. But just lastly, sir, thank you for your service. Thank you for everything that you've given to us, to me, just like my grandfather who fought side by side with you. You know, you guys helped and provided this opportunity for me in my life to change my life and to be able to have this platform with this incredible BDF team. We're all volunteers. We're just making it happen to make sure we recognize, honor, and celebrate all you men that serve and all of our veterans. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right. All right, sir. Semper Fi, sir.
Semper Fi.